What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and I just finished up watching Trevor Bryan versus Jonathan Guidry, and this was a 12-rounder for the WBA Heavyweight World Championship, and this fight was Saturday, January 29th, from the Packard Music Hall in Warren, Ohio, and this fight was broadcasted on Fight TV, and in this fight, Trevor Bryan was able to eke out a split decision victory over Jonathan Guidry. And let me just say this first. This fight was much closer, much more competitive, and much better than I expected. Let alone maybe it was that Trevor Bryan's not as good as we thought, or it's that Jonathan Guidry was far better than what we thought. I mean, even though I'm not too high on Trevor Bryan, I still thought that he would have been able to get Jonathan Guidry out of there, but he did not. And it was a really close fight in my opinion. I scored it 114 to 113 in favor of Trevor Bryan. It definitely could have been 114, 113 in favor of Guidry. It was that type of fight. Really, really, really close. But to list the judges' score totals, one judge had it 118, 109 in favor of Bryan, which I think is just way too wide. One judge had it 116, 111 in favor of Bryan, which is sort of if you give Bryan all of these swing rounds, which is a bit generous. And Steve Weisfeld, the last judge, had a 115 to 112 in favor of Jonathan Guidry, which is not a bad score. I think anywhere from 115 to 112 either way, like 114, 113 either way, is a good score. And I really do think this was a really close fight and a really fun fight, if that. And it was actually a very good fight, if I'm going to be 100% honest. But, yeah, so first of all, I mean, Trevor Bryan, at moments he was coming forward, at moments he was off the back foot. I mean, it was just a really interesting fight. Jonathan Guidry really impressed me. I thought he was going to get knocked out in the first half of the fight. But Trevor Bryan, I mean, when he would come forward, he would miss a lot of his shots. And I know in my prediction video, I said that Jonathan Guidry has no upper body movement. He totally disproved me and was just getting out of the way of all of Bryan's shots and landing counters to the body with his upper body movement. And if Guidry was a couple inches taller, this fight could have been much closer because all the shots Bryan was landing were because Guidry was coming in on the inside to the body as the shorter man by a good amount of inches. Guidry being 5'11", Bryan being like 6'4", so there was a big height discrepancy there. And Guidry weighed in 246, Bryan a career high like 268, I believe so. So I mean, Bryan was not in the best shape, but he really should start training to be in the shape that he was when he beat BJ Flores. He weighed in at 235, was sharp, accurate, fast. But, I mean, after that layoff, when he came back against Stavern, he just gained so much weight. And here we see him out of shape again. So I just hope for his next fight that we see him in shape, and I hope that it's against a better opponent. And the fact that Bryan went this close with an opponent like this, and Jonathan Guidry was an opponent who came into this fight ranked 254 on BoxRec, somewhere around there, and fought no ones in the Midwest, in the South, and he really... I mean, I'm a true fan of his from this performance. I was shocked that this fight was that close, and he did show a lot of heart in there. By coming forward, I mean, he really proved me wrong in my prediction video. And I'm talking about Jonathan Guidry. But for Trevor Bryan, I was not impressed at all. I mean, Guidry was an opponent he was supposed to get out of there in a couple of rounds. And based off of this performance, I think any heavyweight in the top 20, top 30, maybe even top 40 would beat him. Maybe even Johnny Rice would beat him, even though Rice is known for really losing to those undefeated fighters. But he's coming off those 2 strong wins over Coffey. So with that being said, what is next for what is next for Trevor Bryan? Yeah, Trevor Bryan, I'm really not sure. I mean, it's either Manuel Char, another lower level opponent like Guidry, we could see like a year later from now, Manuel Char is scheduled to fight Trevor Bryan, but then weeks before the fight, just like this one, the opponent gets changed to a nobody like Guidry. And yeah, that could definitely happen. But still, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, Trevor Bryan did actually score a knockdown in this fight in the 12th round. That really sort of changed it up a bit. And just some more rounds in this fight as well. I mean, Bryan looked a bit buckled with a jab. That was something I did notice in the 6th round. A nice jab right down the pipe did buckle Bryan a bit and made him have some awkward body movements. But the wrong thing with Guidry that is sort of what he was showing with his body movements wasn't good. When he'd miss a shot, he'd keep his hands down, go off balance. He really needed to stay on balance and really just show that he wasn't tired or anything. Because in the 12th round, it really showed that. And then Bryan started to come forward, landed shots, landed right hands to the head, backed up Guidry. And one thing that I did notice, there was literally 5 seconds left when Bryan was on the ropes, hammering shots on Guidry and landing some nice combinations to the body and to the head. But then the 5 seconds were up, and the bell did not sound, and I was thinking, I mean, is Don King doing this so that his man could get a knockdown? I mean, that's what I was thinking, and it really seemed like that was it, because like literally 10 seconds after, on the clock on the obviously the stream was saying the bout was over, but no, I mean, it was like 10 seconds after the bell sounded on like the stream, like the timer on the stream. But then 10 seconds after that, when Guidry was up from the knockdown, when he took a knee, the bell sounded. So I mean, that was kind of suspicious there, but still, I mean, Trevor Bryan did score that knockdown, but it really the bell should have sounded, in my opinion. I mean, unless the timer was off on the stream, but still. I mean, it really looked a bit suspicious, but still, Jonathan Guidry really impressed me. And more onto what's next for Trevor Bryan. It could be Manuel Char, could be a lower level opponent, or it could be Alexander Usyk, being that he's really the mandatory for him next, and the WBA mandatory, I believe, is next too. And Trevor Bryan's really just waiting to fight all of these top guys like Usyk, Joshua, Wilder, Fury, etc., all these top guys. But yeah, as for Jonathan Guidry, he's either going to continue fighting lower level opponents in the Midwest United States, or he's going to get called up for some opportunities on TV like his own, Showtime, Fox, whatever, Top Rank, against like prospects or something. And then once we see, I mean, in my opinion, I think that if Jonathan Guidry fights like a top prospect, for example, like we just saw Stephen Shaw tonight on the Top Rank card, like if he fights a Stephen Shaw on Top Rank, and we'll see like Stephen Shaw absolutely destroy Guidry in like 3 rounds, and they will really show how Trevor Bryan has really decreased in skill and ability in his inactivity since the BJ Flores fight, where he was really 230. He was slick, he was fast, he was really known as a fast, nice heavyweight, and yeah, now he's sloppier, weighs much more, and he really needs to get back into that shape again. Hopefully he can for his next fight, because I would like to see a Trevor Bryan that's fully in shape and 100% healthy. So yeah, with that being said, Trevor Bryan was able to get a split decision victory over Jonathan Guidry. Comment down below your thoughts on this fight, who you think Trevor Bryan's going to fight next, and your scorecards. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.